Have you been trying to use law of attraction and it doesn't quite seem to be working for you? Or maybe you're trying to manifest something and it's not showing up and you don't know why. Today we're going to talk about 3 things that you need to make sure that you're aware of before you can really have law of attraction start working for you successfully. So if you want to find that out, stay tuned. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Anna Rebecca and I'm here with the intention to help you live a life of your dreams by breaking through your limiting beliefs, doubts, and fears so that you can own your power and manifest a life that you love living every single day. Together we explore this mindset mastery by discussing things like law of attraction, manifestation, travel, lifestyle, and wellness. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 things that you need to make sure that law of attraction is successfully working for you. So let's get right in. So point number 1 is to realize what you're creating. And this is just simple law of attraction. Where your attention goes, energy flows. What you focus on expands. If you're feeling depression, sadness, anxiety, through the law of attraction, by focusing on that, all you're doing is just creating more depression or sadness or anxiety. That's all it's doing. And for me, when I realized that I was doing this unconsciously in my life, it just totally set off this chain of events where I was like, wait a minute, I'm sitting here being sad about something. I'm sitting here being depressed and anxious. All it's doing is just creating more depression and anxiety. And for me, it was just like a light bulb went off. Remember and keep in mind, if you are feeling sad or anxious or depressed or anything negative, pain is only temporary. One way I really like to think of this is the ocean. I love being on the beach and watching the waves as they come in and they come out. And that's actually a really, really great metaphor to remember that that is the same situation for whatever it is that you're going through. Sometimes we go through these emotional ups and downs or these peaks and these valleys. And if you think about the ocean, when you're standing there, when you have your feet in the sand and you're looking out into the horizon, you have the waves. They're coming in and then they're going out. And it's this ebb and flow where they're just coming in and coming out. So that's a great way to remember anytime that you're going through something that it's only temporary. It's going to pass. It's going to end. Just as the waves come in, they also go out, but they also come back in. So it's just this wave. It's just getting into that flow of knowing that everything that comes along is only temporary. So it's going to pass. Realize what you're creating within your mind and that you're essentially telling the universe that you want more of. This was huge for me when I started to realize that I was in this constant state of fear and anxiety and depression. And once I became consciously aware that that is what I was putting out, it was just like, it was like a light bulb went off and I was like, wait a minute. I'm feeling this and I'm affirming it on a daily basis. All this is doing is just creating more of that. It's giving me more anxiety. It's giving me more depression. So as soon as I realized that and told myself, okay, well, I don't want to be in this anymore, I made that conscious effort to cut it off. So it's when I started looking into that and realizing, well, what really is anxiety and what really is depression, it turned me to having this understanding of time and what time really is. So you think about, you have this past, the present, and the future. All anxiety is living in the future, living in what hasn't even happened yet, and having fears and doubts and worries of what hasn't happened yet. Having depression is living in the past. It's living in what has already happened, what has already come to pass, what has already come and gone. And so do you kind of see how living in the past or the future that hasn't even happened yet is really taking away from what is currently going on? It was such a realization seeing, oh my gosh, like I am living in the past or I'm living in the future. None of those things are even happening right now. What is actually happening right now? I look and I see my hands in front of me. I see this. I see the people that I'm interacting with in front of me. I see what's actually going on. It's like, tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself what is actually happening right now. Chances are you're probably fine. And really think about it. Look back on your life and take a look at what has happened. And you can look back and complain and be like, oh, well, this happened that I didn't like or this. But really, when you look back on it, everything always ends up working out. everything always ends up working out. Everything. That situation actually happened and I ended up being better for it, or I learned my lessons, or good came out of it, or things that in the moment I didn't realize were things that were holding me back. It actually set me free. So when you realize that there's so many things in your life that you're worrying about or you're putting all this energy on, that really in the end it's all gonna work out. The universe has your back. Everything always works out in the end. So just remember that when you're feeling anxiety or depression, first of all, you're telling the universe to give you more anxiety or depression. So if you don't want that, shift your focus to the now. Start to tell yourself the truth. Everything always works out in the end. It's going to be okay. So realize what you're creating, and anytime you're starting to feel any of those emotions, negative in the future or in the past, shift your focus to now. I like to just even look down at my hands and realize, okay, I'm alive, I'm healthy, I'm safe, I'm okay. And realizing that puts everything just at total ease. So just take a deep breath and realize it's gonna be okay. The other point to realize what you're creating, in addition to anxiety or depression or anything, is any kind of negative vibration or any kind of negative emotion that you're bringing into your life. So realizing, are you bringing in anger? Are you bringing in hate? Are you bringing in anything that is a negative vibe? Whatever it is, just remember that the law of attraction is going to perpetuate that. All it's going to do is attract more of that. So if you don't want that, then shift your focus to something that you do want. A lot of those energies, a lot of those vibrations, a lot of those feelings and emotions, all that is really just coming from a place of lack. So it's coming from a place of lack of something that you do want that you don't have. Give gratitude, because your fear is actually showing you what you do want. So it's super easy. All you do is you shift that fear into realizing, I'm fearful of the lack of not having a job. And then tell yourself the truth. Okay, well, is that the truth? Is that really what's going to be happening? No, it's all going to work out for you. So we'll get into how to make sure that those things work for you in some future videos. But the biggest thing here is just bringing the awareness. This number one, realizing what you're creating, it's really all about awareness and just opening up your consciousness to see what is actually going on. What is it that's going in your head? What is it that you are perpetuating? What is it that you're telling the universe that you want more of? So you want to completely eliminate any of those negative vibrations, those negative emotions, those negative feelings. Cut them out of your life. Put an immediate stop to it. Don't beat yourself up about it though. Realize and give yourself the gratitude that you are bringing your awareness around to this so that you actually see what's going on. So a key thing here is, again, bringing your awareness, noticing the lack, noticing where in your mindset, where in your mentality, what are you putting out there? What are you perpetuating? And what are you telling the universe and law of attraction to bring you more of? Don't beat yourself up. Again, feel gratitude that it happened, that it's showing you what you don't want, and instead just forgive yourself, release that emotion, and shift your focus to what you do want. Shift your focus to getting into alignment so that you can manifest and you can create whatever it is that you do want. Because if you think about this, in the past, let's say you have this anxiety, depression, everything, or sadness or anger, you created that. It's a harsh realization, and trust me, I had to come to that harsh realization myself to realize I was creating my own anxiety and depression. It was all me. It was all me, not circumstances, not anybody else. Somebody wasn't coming to my house every day and saying, you have to feel this way. No, it was all me. So realize you are creating everything that's going on in your mind. And if you can create all of those negative things that you felt in the past, you can shift and refocus and create nothing but good for yourself moving forward. It's a really, really empowering thing. So I want to share with you a story on why, for me, this point number one is so important to realizing what you're creating and how the law of attraction is always in motion. This, for me, was honestly the key pivotal moment in my life to changing everything in my reality, and to completely shifting and having this new mindset that I do, and being on this path, realizing what it is that I want to do in life, realize what it is that I was creating. So I was going through a really tough time. I was actually going through a breakup, and I was traveling at the time, and I was sitting in my hotel room in Riga, Latvia, where I was. And man, I was so low, and just full of so much sadness, so much depression, all of this stuff. Like, these feelings were just consuming me, and they were just keeping me in this state of that I couldn't get myself out of. And I was laying in bed just crying. I grab my phone and I open up YouTube, and this video pops up. And it was interesting because I had never watched any video from this particular individual. And it was essentially talking about this, and talking about when you're feeling these emotions and how you're unconsciously creating more of those emotions, and you're unconsciously bringing more of that into your life through law of attraction. And it was just like, I know I've said this so many times already in this video, but the light bulb just went off. It was that aha moment, that white light moment that made me realize, like, oh my gosh, I'm literally sitting here crying and depressed and wallowing in this, and just so sad and so depressed, and not even realize that by doing that, I'm only creating in my mind more sadness, more depression, more anxiety, more of these negative feelings, all of this. And it was just like, it was this instant shift that just completely went off. It was like, it just took that moment for me to say, okay, you know what? I don't want to feel this way anymore. So let me give myself permission to feel the feelings, because that's the other thing too. I'm not telling you, oh, don't feel these certain ways. If you're in some kind of a sadness, feel the sadness. You need to get it out of your system. Your body needs to feel that. What I'm saying is, don't wallow in it, because when you wallow in it is when you're going to start to perpetuate more of whatever it is that you don't want. You're going to bring on whatever it is that you don't want in your life. So for me, I said, okay, I'm going to give myself the rest of this night to just feel sadness and feel the grief of what I'm going through, feel that loss of the relationship, and I'm going to allow myself to feel that way. However, tomorrow morning, I was about to fly back home to New York. Tomorrow morning, when I leave this hotel room, I'm going to leave all of these emotions here. I'm going to close the door, and I'm going to leave it there. So I basically anchored my emotions into that moment, and I said, I'm going to feel it now. I give myself the permission, but when I leave this hotel room, it stays here. And that's exactly what I did. I felt the sadness. I cried my eyes out for the rest of the night, but as soon as I left the next day, I opened the door, crossed the threshold of the door, and I said, okay, it stays here. And that's exactly what I did. I let it stay there. Now, that's not to say that time down the road came and like the sadness would come up. Yes, I would feel it, but not wallow in it. I'll tell a story another time about wallowing in it and what that did for me, but that's for another day. So yes, point number one, make sure you realize what you're creating, and realize whatever it is that you're doing, it is whatever it is that you want to bring into your life. So if you want to bring happiness, joy, abundance, everything good and positive, make sure you're shifting your focus into that. If this video sparked your interest and you do want more tips on how you can get into alignment with yourself and really start delving into the self-care, I actually created a free 30-day challenge that you can get right down below in the description box. I'll put a link to it. It's a free 30-day challenge to self-care, and it will also come with 1 week free of my 30-day mindset mastery book that you can get. Also, I'll put that in the link down below. It's basically the exact steps that I took in order to get into the mindset that I have. It's the exact framework that I went from getting rid of any anxiety and depression, sadness, all all of that stuff and put me in a much better space, put me into alignment with myself, gave me a better outlook on life, everything. So I'll put all of that into the description down below. And if you found this video helpful, please feel free to like, share it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, because there's going to be plenty more content like this coming out. Thank you so much for watching, and go out there and create a life that you love living every single day.